History and Appreciation of Art assignment by Naomi Fry. The following presentation is based on the teaching of Impressionism to a fifth-year class in Alexandra College, Dublin. The theme of Impressionism was chosen by the current art teacher in the school, and I was asked to teach Impressionism over 4 class periods. This presentation will address the following issues: rationale, aims and objectives, methodology, teaching strategies, classroom management, resources, assessment, and evaluation. The examination of History of Art covers 3 sections: Art in Ireland, European Art, and General Appreciation. The theme of Impressionism falls under the category of European Art, which covers 1000 AD to present. During the 4 lessons, I will cover 4 Impressionist artists that are said to be the founders of Impressionism: Monet, Manet, Degas, and Renoir. I believe Impressionism is an important topic to teach the students, as the fresh and original vision of the artists inspired various styles that followed it, such as Neo-Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, Fauvism, and Cubism, as seen in the pictures. It is important to teach the students the lasting importance of Impressionism, as it changed the very nature of the way people think about art today. The Impressionists liberated artists from strict rules of composition, subject matter, and technique. The aims of the scheme of the lesson was to help the students understand the background of Impressionism, where Impressionism came from, what it was influenced by, and what retaliated from it. It is to give students an insight into the lives of Impressionist artists, focusing specifically on Degas, Renoir, Manet, and Monet. It is to help students understand the processes of Impressionism, to encourage students to see the effects of Impressionism and what it had in the progression of paintings and in art in general. It is to help students appreciate the innovative paintings of the Impressionist artists, being able to name the works, the artists, the concepts, and the techniques. The aim is to understand the celebration of Impressionism for its depiction of light and everyday knowledge, and light and everyday life. To know the difference between unique styles of the 4 Impressionist artists. The students will also learn of one Impressionist artist, Walter Osborne, and learning his work and his techniques. The students will also be introduced to modern Impressionist photography and the works of Donnell Farrell and Eva Pollock. They will also be shown YouTube videos on the 4 artists. When considering the methodology of the scheme, it was important to ask such questions as what problems need to be considered and what strategies will be put in place. It was important to have a clear understanding of the message of the scheme, teaching students the essential details of Impressionism, its techniques, its artists, and its achievements. I used visual aids such as PowerPoints and handouts to explain to students the history of art in relation to Impressionism. I summarized what came before Impressionism and what came after Impressionism as a result of the movement. PowerPoint presentations were given on the lives and the works of the 4 Impressionist artists mentioned: Monet, Manet, Degas, and Renoir. There was class discussions on the key facts and events in the Impressionist movements, and the students were asked how they would have critiqued the works if they were there at the time. The students were also taught how to lay out an essay, and were asked to demonstrate how to compare and contrast 2 artists and use visual aids of the artist's work in their essay. The students were introduced to contemporary Impressionism by showing them the work of Impressionist photographer Eva Pollock. YouTube videos on the works and lives of the Impressionist artists, such as Monet, were shown, and there was a group discussion on the choices they made to break away from tradition. Binary and empirical methods were used to engage students in the class discussions and on the Impressionist works. There were small tests on the artists that were discussed to refresh the students' memory of the works and lives of them. They were also introduced to the Irish artist Walter Osborne through a group discussion using the binary opposite method. Having pre-thought ideas on how to handle situations that may occur in the classroom is helpful for when they actually arise. Models of management include telling the students the structure of the class so they know what to expect. There will be allocated times for teacher presentation, student interaction, and class discussions. Tools for engaging the students, such as asking their opinions, having visual aids, videos, and worksheets, are important to keep their attention. I believe having different tools in each class is necessary in order to prevent a predictability to the classes, which prevents students from disengagement. Discipline in the class would begin with a warning, and if necessary, a note in their report book would be issued. But before discipline is sanctioned, it is important to find the problem behaviour and consider its purpose. I find often choosing one's battles can actually avoid making problems worse. The use of laptops and overhead projectors were used to give presentations on Impressionism. The projector was used to display images and videos of the Impressionist artists, and worksheets were used to engage the students in the videos that were shown. The types of assessment used in class were ipsative, formative, and summative. For ipsative, even though I was only teaching the students for 4 classes, I tried to see the progress in the students' understanding of Impressionism between the beginning and the end of the 4 classes. I asked them questions in the first class about their knowledge of the Impressionists and asked them the same questions again at the end of the 4th class. For formative learning, I held class discussions and made them do practice presentations where I got them to each present either Degas or Renoir to the class. For summative learning, it was seen through written tests and essays. During the scheme, I assessed the students' learning through essays they did for homework on comparing Monet and Manet, as seen below, and worksheets they completed on the videos The Impressionist and Renoir Life of a Masterpiece. An exam was also given that took place at the end of the scheme. Below are examples of the students' work. It is important to assess the work of the students in order to clarify their grade, enable the student to progress, and guide their improvement. By assessing each student, we can diagnose faults and rectify mistakes made. It is important to let the students know where they stand and give them proper and informative feedback. Overall, I am happy with the outcome of the 4 lessons. I believe I was well prepared for each lesson and that the approaches I took benefited the students in their understanding and appreciation of the Impressionist movement and its artists. By the end of the scheme, the students knew 4 Impressionist artists, 2 works by each artist, and an overall understanding of the place where Impressionism came from and what happened as a result of the movement. The students also learnt about one Irish Impressionist, Walter Osborne, and were also introduced to contemporary Impressionist photographer Eva Pollock and her work.